Hey guys, new video here. This will be a quick one. I've been playing for a couple days, and here is my blood crucible. Get some questions on stream time to time, like what points do you take, how do you take them. I'm gonna go through what I took, the order I took them in, and kind of think about it from like if you don't have that much time to play, I guess. Short answer is you're gonna get everything. There's no cap on skills. There's no limits on anything. You play enough. Like my character's level 92 right now. Let me just double check. Yeah, I'm level 92. And I am only missing, let's see, I'm missing 1, 6, 11, 12. I'm missing 17 points out of all this, right? There's 15 points per row. There are 5 rows, so there's 75 points. You're going to end up getting everything. The way that you level up the skill is that every time you shift into the nightmare, any mobs you kill in there will add to this little bar right here. This is the XP bar. You can even watch this fill. You can open this up while you're killing mobs to kind of see. It does obviously get slower as you get higher levels, right? Like early on, you'll get tons and tons of points, and it'll slow down. But I don't feel like it's going to be anything like as hard as it is to get like maybe like a level 100 even on one character. So just rest assured that if you find yourself playing this league a lot and you really like the league, you're going to get every single point on this tree no matter what. So it doesn't really matter what you take, I guess, in that sense, if you are going to play a long time. But if you want to get the most out of it, right, for the early league, I think that there is like maybe a tiny bit of strategy, okay? Especially if you are not a very big crafter and you don't want to do all these like weird stratagems that you find on Reddit and like YouTube videos and stuff. So I'm just gonna go through them really quick about what I took and why. So the first one, this row right here is just about jewelry, armor, and weapons and quivers. Okay, so here it's because you need 10 points to get to the next row, right? It'll kind of unlock. So 10 points in the first row unlocks the next row, and then 10 more points, and so on to unlock the next row. So here I was thinking, well, nothing's really like that good here, right? I mean, I get a lot of like unique body armors and jewelries, and then what you could do is you can go to PoEDB and you can Google PoEDB Blood Crucible, and you can see all the modifiers. And I was like, okay, the chest modifiers are pretty cool, maybe some plus gems, and the jewelry modifiers they're all right, I guess. And I don't use a weapon for my character, right? So I'm not gonna be able to benefit that for myself. So I just took these 10 points, right? If you find that you want to do weapon or armor or weapon and jewelry for yourself, then you can do that. But this does not matter. Just put 10 points in any of these. And then in the next point, now this one's actually kind of important, I guess. You always want to put 1 point in here. This is absolutely mandatory because this means that you can put unique items that you find on the ground into the crucible. You're gonna find a ton of those in maps. So just throw them in there if you want. If they're like 1C, 1 ouch. Uniques, just throw them in there. You might get something cool, right? At least you'll have something cooking, right? Always have something cooking. You shouldn't have anything empty in the slots. And then after that, I took 5 points in here. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of if you look at like the sockets and things, right, this could be okay if you're not going to use the a method where you just buy like you just buy a 6 socket or something right there, and then you're gonna like put it in there, and then maybe you get some free links. But if you don't get any free links, you can use things like this. So I would say like this row, out of all of these, it doesn't really matter because since you take 1 point here, you need 9 points anyway. So 5, 4, 4, 5 doesn't actually matter for this too much. Now the next row is kind of cool because like this one, what it means is like getting a beneficial modifier 1 tier higher means that if we look at like any scourge item, I'll just pull one up real quick. Where's one? Like right here, right? So you see that you say there's always a good modifier and a bad modifier. So what this mod means is just like, it could be a better of the good modifier, right? Nothing too fancy there. And this one means that like if you transform, the detrimental is 1 tier lower, right? So let's say you had like minus I don't know, for example, minus 25 res. Okay, it might be like minus 23 res or 22 res or whatever, right? So slightly better of a worse mod, if that makes any sense. Okay, the reason that I didn't take this yet is because like I don't really have anything that I want to exalt on rares, because like from what you've seen in the early league, all the rares on the ground are pretty trash. I have a lot of dump tabs here of like I pick up everything, right? And look, these are my dump tabs, and you can see the scourge items there. And I haven't gotten a single dump tab sale on anything. So and anytime I look at something, right, it might be because it's a lower tier maps or something, but it hasn't been long enough, but it's just like all trash. So I don't really care if I put in these like rares I'm gonna find on the ground. It's too early in the league to go buy like bases and fuel for the blood crucible. So this one, even though it's cool because it's an exalt and we'll definitely get this later, for now I don't find myself putting in rares. I'm putting in uniques because it's way easier and way more fun. So I didn't take any points in there to get to the next row. Now, next row, you have to take this first. Once you get to this row, just make sure you take crushed organs. +1 crucible slot is really, really sick because that means you get, instead of 1 slot for an item, you get 2, right? You did make sure to take that, and you gotta take 9 for the next one. Now, the reason I put all the points here instead of just 9 is because these are insane. The maps that you put in here, you're eventually going to get 2 slots by getting to this point right here. So this will be the very first point you have to take on this row. Is when you get this, you have 2 slots for maps, okay? And it's really easy to get these to Scourge level 1 and 2 and 3. And if you're baking these, you're 2 at a time. Like I've been playing for a while. I wasn't like putting all of them in all the time very efficiently, but where's my I have these ready to go, right? And if I'm gonna just like do the detail tooltip, you can slowly read like what's on here, right? Some pretty crazy mods as you start baking them. And it's good to get this map pool going so that when your character is able to blast through these really fast and really efficiency without failing any of them or anything, it will be good rewards. So like I feel like these on average will be more money and more fun and more more interesting to run than any of the items early league, right? So these are like, you're kind of think of this as like a piggy bank, right? You're putting that earns interest, right? Like a monkey bank in Bloons Tower Defense, where you put the money in and it slowly accumulates interest, right? And then later on you take it out and you pop off on it. So always make sure you have maps here. They do get hard to raise up in level as the Scourge level goes up. So I kind of take them out around like 3, 4, 5, just so I can have more of the map instead of one really good map. Because like, what if that one really good map crashes? Or like that one really good map is too hard and you find out you can't do it, right? I'd rather have like a lot of them that I can run, okay? Another way I think of this is if you played Expedition League, you have some logbooks, right? And do you want to buy like a crazy logbook with guaranteed boss and radius and more explosive and all this, and like really like take more time on that one, and then you might fail it, or it might be too, it might be too annoying, or you don't get anything from the boss, or you don't get enough reroll tokens, and you're like, oh man, I wish I had just like, for that amount of money, that like 3 exalts or something, and then the other exalt I spent on the beast and stuff to split it, I could have just bought like 12 more logbooks. I mean, that's kind of like the way I'm thinking about this, right? I want more of like the fun stuff run, as long as it's semi good, right, to run. So that's what I'm doing there. Okay, so make sure you're always baking the maps. After you take this and this, let me just explain really quickly what this means. If you look at the numbers on here, right, the corruption absorbed, that's not actually a number of kills. It looks like an incubator, exactly like an incubator, but it's not. If it was 106,000 kills, it'd be ridiculous, right? Like that'd be like, I don't know, 50 maps or whatever. So what it means is just like some arbitrary amount of corruption that you're gonna get. It makes it a more multiplier. So let's say if you take this skill right here, if something took like 125 corruption to level up to the next Scourge level, it would only take 100, right? You just get more of that XP bar. Okay, it's just more XP. And this one as well. So right, when you're inside of a Scourge map, items absorb 5% more corruption for each time the map has been transformed. So what this means is like, let's say I run one of the maps that I have here, right? Like this is a Scourge tier 5 map. So if I were in there, right, and one day I will be in there quite a bit, each Scourge tier is 5%. So a tier 5 would be 25%, a tier 10 would be 50%. And what it says, the items, right? These are the items right here. So when you're incubating like much later on, when you're like a little bit later in the game and you have like fuel, I'll call it fuel, like the things you put in here. When you have better fuel, like maybe you have like six or you have like double corrupted chests, right, that you're gonna put in there to see if you can get something really good in there, then they will level up faster and they can do more items, right? Because once you level up to 3, you can't do anything else with it. You have to take it out and there's nothing else you can add on there, and you can put new things in. So it just rotates out your slots kind of quickly. It's kind of starting to sound like a mobile game, honestly, but it's very, very fun system, right? Eventually when you get into it. So that's what it means, right? So definitely take this. But honestly, like you could swap these two if you want. I think it doesn't really matter too much. And the next one, obviously I already said that you have to take this one, and I'm taking this one first because this one's like really cool, right? I think 5% chance for this is actually a very, very high chance. 5% when you get 5 points in it, right? 1% per point is you get an additional beneficial modifier. So just like I showed you earlier with this chest, where this has one good thing and one bad thing, right? The good thing's on the top, the bad thing's on the second line. It has a 5% chance every time you transform it, right? Up to it goes from tier 1 to 2 to 3, so you have 3 chances, right? So the chance not to get something is 0.95 raised to the power of 3. is that is a pretty decent chance for getting an additional good mod. So for example, on some of the body armors, you have things like plus gems and stuff. All right, once again, look at the POD DBB, or you get some keystones. So let's say you want a keystone, right? And then it levels up and then you get an extra one, okay? Or you can get like plus gems and a keystone or something for free, right? 5% chance each time it transforms all the way upwards. And I think that's pretty crazy, you know, because let's say your chest, remember you can put corrupted things in there. So let's say the chest is already +2/+2 or +2/+1 or whatever you want on there, right? And then you just get an extra thing you weren't expecting. So it's like imagine if you corrupted something and then you could corrupt it again, right? Like before we had double corruptions, we had single corruptions. And then imagine if we didn't know about double corruptions and then you suddenly just got a double corruption. You'd be like, what the heck? So that's essentially what it is in Scourge form. So I think that's really sick. Max that out as soon as possible, so that you can get that on anything that you put in here. And then once again, you'll get everything else eventually. I don't expect it to be too big a deal. And because like these are all already like maxed out, right? And so it's gonna be pretty fun. But besides that, there's nothing. None of this stuff is gonna be like, oh, I have to do that right now. If you're if you're in bed watching this video and you're like, oh man, I did it wrong. I need to go. It's not like that. It's gonna be a very long league. It's gonna be very fun. And I think once you get all this maxed out, then you can start focusing on like, this is like the setup, and then you can start focusing on fuel for here and here. Well, you don't really care about maps because the maps you're gonna have thousands of maps to put in here eventually, right? So that's the video. If you got this far, hopefully, that kind of explains like what I was thinking about with the Crucible. Pretty simple stuff, not too complicated, right? It's definitely not Betrayal. I'd say it's even simpler than Expedition for sure, simpler than Expedition logbooks. And if you got this far in the video, click on the like button. Click on the like button right now, because I know you haven't. And then subscribe to the channel as well. If you have any other questions, I stream every day in the evenings, twitch.tv/QJug_. You can come hang out there, ask me anything you want, and let's have a good time. And see you guys later. Okay, thanks for watching the video, guys. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.